Hello everyone, and welcome back to part 2 on how to make a game like Arsenal. So in the last tutorial, I've showed you guys how to do this. So if I go ahead and run the game, I showed you guys how to make a view model, an animatable view model that will be placed in front of the camera of the player all the time. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make gun animations and how to make a walking animation. So I'm firstly going to mess around with the lighting bit like that, and I'm going to go to my local script, and we will have a variable for player service. So local players is equal to, or let's do local players is equal to game get service players. And in here we'll create a variable for the player. So local player is equal to game or players dot local player dot local player, and then local character is equal to get to player dot character or player dot character added on weight. Now we're gonna create a variable for the humanoid. So local humanoid is equal to character dot humanoid or let's put character dot character weight for child humanoid. And then in here we're gonna have some variables. So local walk animation speed is equal to, let's put this at like 5, and local walk animation size, let's put that at like 2. Now in here we're gonna create a script that will check if we're gonna create an if statement that will check if the player is walking. So if humanoid dot move direction dot magnitude is greater than 0, then else. And in here we're gonna do cframe is equal to cframe lerp, and we'll do config dot offset from camera dot x, and we're gonna do a plus, and we're gonna do math dot sin, and we're gonna put time. So math dot sin will generate a sine wave, and we're gonna put the time, and we're gonna multiply it by walk animation speed, and then we'll divide all of that by walk animation size. Now, as I said, this is an advanced tutorial, so beginners might not understand what this does. And in the y-axis, we're gonna do config the offset from camera dot y, and we're gonna multiply that by, or plus, not multiply, and math dot cos this time, and we're gonna put time, and we're gonna multiply time by walk animation speed, and again we're gonna divide it by walk animation size, and then we're gonna put a comma and config dot offset from camera dot z, and then after all of this you want to put a comma. So let's see, yes, after all of this you're gonna put a comma, or yes, we're gonna put a comma and 0.1, and in here else cf is equal to cf lerp, and we're gonna do camera dot cframe multiplied by config dot offset from camera, and then we're gonna give it 0.1, and in here the view model cframe, we're gonna set that to cframe, and if you go ahead and play the game right now, it should work. So we have a weird thing. We're not gonna call this a sway, but for some reason it does this. So it goes backwards. But I think I know how to fix that. Yes, unable to cast double coordinates C-frame. So config.camera.x and plus math.sin. And that. Alright, so that's very easy to fix. Because we have that. So, yes. I'm pretty sure we have to put camera.cframe multiplied by cframe.new, and then we're gonna put all of these. So copy and paste until you reach the config.offset from camera.z, and that should work. Hopefully that should work. So let's play the game again and see how that looks. Let's hope that this works. So it kind of works, but it's not the best walking animation. So it's pretty easy to fix to make it better. But I'm really not sure about why does it goes backwards when I walk forward. But I think that's pretty simple to fix. So cframe.new, we are getting the c-frame, the x plus that. Oh, I think it's because we just have to remove this. And I'm going to play the game right now and see if that works. Okay, so that was totally not the fix for this. You have to put some numbers. So we're gonna use the same option that we used here. So we're gonna do workspace dot plus x dot value plus, and then in here we're gonna put workspace dot plus y dot value plus, and let's see if that will work. So again, you should have these values in the workspace just like we did in the past tutorial. So if we go ahead and play the game, that does look pretty decent. So I'm going to change this to 1 and see how it looks. Position X set to 1. Let's put 5. Alright, so that was a bad idea. But don't put 5. Just put 0. Or maybe let's put... let's change the Z to 2. Actually, we did not change the Z yet. Let's change the Y to 2. That will make it higher, but we're gonna change that to 1. Or let's keep this at 0. Let's put -1 this time. That looks pretty bad. So what I forgot to do is to change to put workspace dot yes, so I forgot to put workspace dot position y position z dot value here. And let's see if that works. So let's play the game, and so if we are walking, it looks like that, which is pretty good. And here I'm going to change the position x to 0.5, just like the configuration module. So let's go to our main game, guns, C-frame. So in here we have 1, so we're gonna change it to 1. And for the y-axis, we have it at minus 1.2, so minus 1.2. All right, so that's what causes the animation to lag a little. But I don't think that's a problem. And we're gonna change this to 1. Okay, so changing that to a bigger number will make it go backwards. And if I change it to minus 1, we'll make it go forward. Now we want it to go forward, so we're gonna put it at minus 0.5. Or minus 0.5. Maybe we should just keep it at 0. Let's keep it at 0. Now I am pretty sure that I think we have this little lag because of the minus number here. So if I change that to 0, actually never mind, minus 1.2. So we found some good settings for this. All we had to do is to basically just change the z-axis to 0, and both of these to the values inside of the offset from the camera module. So now we're gonna get rid of this. So all we have to do here is put 0. So for the z-axis, we're gonna put 0, and in here we're gonna put config the offset from camera. Offset from camera. Let's copy this. .y, and in here we're gonna put config the offset from camera.x plus that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna mess around with these settings. So the size will be 3. So the higher the size is, the lower it gets. So let's put at 5, I think. Maybe 4. And the speed would be the same, I think. Yeah. So now if we go ahead and play the game, that should work pretty good. So it does work. We do have a little animation, but what I don't like is the lure pin when you stop walking. So as you can see, when we turn our camera, it looks pretty bad. So to fix that, all we have to do is to mess around with these settings. So the higher this is, the lower the higher speed it will get. So let's put at 0.6, 0.8, and play the game, and it should work. So as you can see, when we spin our camera, we don't have that bug anymore, and we do have a little sway. I wouldn't call that a sway since it's not really a sway. Well, maybe it is. I'm not too sure. Let's change this to 0.5 instead. I think that looks pretty good. Not really. I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like how it lerps. So to fix this, I'm probably just going to change this to that instead of... I'm just going to do that. Yes. Is equal to cframe.new. I'm gonna just set it to that, and it should work. But I don't like how stiff it gets. Like, I'm really not sure about why it does that when I spin my camera. Let's change this to 0.5 or maybe 0.2, and we'll get this and put it here. Yeah, I think we'll fix this in the next episode, but for now we're gonna just mess around with some settings. And in my opinion, that looks pretty decent. All we need to fix is this. It's how lags when we are moving our camera, but other than that, the walk animation looks pretty good. We're gonna fix that in the next episode since it's kind of annoying, but we'll eventually fix it. Now, what we're gonna do is make our gun holding animation. So, I'm gonna take your view model, put it out of the put it in the workspace, and you want to go to plugins, animation editor, and actually before we do that, I'm going to show you how to get a gun. So let's just rename this to D, and this is going to be our view model. So how to put a gun in the hands. That's very, very simple. All you have to do is go to find the mesh. You can make your own gun in Blender. I'm just going to get a 3 mesh. So let's look for a gun, or maybe a pistol. Pistol. And I think we're gonna go with this one, and make sure it does not have any scripts on it. And I don't like this pistol, so I'm going to choose another one. Probably this one. This one is huge, but the model itself is really good. So we're gonna put that like that, and we're gonna change the material to metal so that it shines, and we'll scale it down. Scale it even more, and for some reason I can't scale it anymore. That's not a problem, since we'll just scale it manually. So I'm going to put the gun right here, and we will change we'll put the gun in the middle. Let's go to model, let's move it, let's move this up, and I think move it like that, and I think it's centered. Yes, it is. And what I will be doing is, I don't know why, but it's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of stretched. I think that's better, yes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our pistol inside of the view model. And then you wanna go to plugins, make sure that the pistol is not anchored and that can collide is unchecked. And we're gonna go to plugins, Moon Animator, Easy Weld, Model, Parts. Make sure you check Animatable. And we'll select the humanoid part and we'll weld it to the pistol. And then you want to press join in place. And I should create a model 60 for the pistol. Now we're gonna go to plugins, animation editor, select that, and you should be able to animate the pistol too. So I'm going to create a quick holding animation for a pistol. I don't know how we hold a pistol, so I really don't remember. I think it was something like this, how you hold it in Arsenal. I'm pretty trash at animating, so I'm really not the best at animating. I'm just going to make a random animation. This looks so weird. Maybe let's put it something like that. I'll probably get my animator friend to fix my animation. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I think we're just going to reset all of these keyframes. I'll be back when I get a good animation. Alright, I am back, and I actually finally got a nice animation. And let me just close off Google and Discord. I finally got a animation, so I think that's gonna be good for my animation. After that, you wanna right click, cancel, discard. You wanna right click on this, left click, make sure that it's not looped, and what you're gonna do is go to export. Before you do that, set the animation priority to just keep, yeah, action, and right click, export, click that, export, rename it to pistol holding or whatever you want, and let's change this just nil. And you want to copy the ID, make sure you copy the ID, and then what you want to do is you want to put, oh, what the hell is this? Let's just delete that. Yes. So I want to put this inside of your view model, and then you want to add a folder to it and rename it to animations. Then you want to add a animation to it and rename it to hold. After renaming the animation to hold, you want to set the animation ID to the animation that you have, and then you want to go to this, and what we're gonna do is view model dot animator dot animation controller dot animator on load animation, or let's turn this into a variable, local hold is equal to that. And in fact, let's create a dictionary. So local animations is equal to, and create a table, and we're gonna put a hold, and we're gonna set that to this. And then you wanna do load animation, and we're gonna put view model dot animations dot hold, and then in here we're gonna play the animations. So animations, and we're gonna get the animation that we want. So hold on play. Now if you go ahead and play the game, I'm pretty sure this should work. Okay, so it does work, and only problem is that the offset is a bit weird, so we're gonna have to fix that. But that's pretty easy to fix. It's just offset, so shouldn't be a problem. Now to fix this, I'm just going to lower the X value, maybe 0.3 or 0.6, 0.4. Let's put 0.4. And it will load the animation, and that's already better, but I think we might want to put it, we might want to edit this again. So let's put 0, and in the in this axis we're going to put 0.5, and if you go ahead and run the game, it should look pretty good. Okay, so that's way better. Now it looks like an actual game, and as you can see, we have a walking animation that you can edit, and the only problem is this, and it's really easy to fix, so that shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, I like this so far. I think we've done pretty good progress. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to fix this. So instead of setting that cf is equal to cf colon lerp, and we will put the camera C frame, and we're gonna put a comma 0.2. Now that should work. Maybe. So yeah, that's way smoother. But we'll have to fix it eventually, so because it's pretty weird to have a view model wobbling around like that. So yeah, I think we should probably fix that. Actually, I'll see if I can fix it in this tutorial. Hello, so I'm back, and the way I fixed this is by changing this to by setting the C-frame variable, so CF is equal to config dot offset from camera, and in here I'm setting this to camera C-frame and multiplying it by the CF variable. And what we are doing here is, all I did here is just remove this. So I just set it to, I'm just looping it to cframe.new, and same thing here. So cframe is equal to, and just put it to cframe or cframe loop, and put the config offset from camera, and we're gonna put 0.2. And that should work. Now if you go ahead and play the game, it will look very smooth. So as you can see, it's very smooth. It's much smoother than last time, and this looks amazing. Honestly, this looks so good. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we will change this to this value that says 0 to config.offset from camera.z. And if you go ahead and play the game this time, it should look much better. I think something is collidable. Okay, so we have a problem. And I think it's very easy to fix. Okay, so much easier to fix than the other problem. So all I had to do is to put config 2 times, and now it should be fixed. Let's recheck the script and see if it's fixed. Okay, so that should work this time. And this should look buttery smooth. And as you can see, it looks really nice, very smooth, and it looks just great. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to mess around with the settings a bit and see how it looks. So I'm going to change the walk animation speed to maybe like 4, and the walk animation size to something smaller. So the smaller it is, the bigger it gets. So I'm going to change it to 2.6. And if you go ahead and play the game this time, it looks pretty good. So as you can see, I have a bigger wave and slower. And I think that looks terrible. Okay, so I'll have to change the speed of the animation up to something like 2 and the size to something like 6. And that should be fixed. That's way better, I think. Actually, no, I think it should be faster. Let's just put this to 6 or maybe 5. And that should look pretty good. Okay, so that's way better. And as you can see, we have successfully created a holding animation and a gun running animation. Now in the next episode, I'll be showing you guys how to add, maybe we'll add shift to sprint. I really don't know, but we'll see. So I think for now this looks pretty decent, and I would recommend turning off the shadows for the view model, because as you can see, I have some weird shadows here and it doesn't look too great, so you should probably turn that off. And in the next tutorial, I'll be showing you how to add crosshairs, which are really simple to add. And I think that's going to be it for today's tutorial. If this helped, make sure to subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, and I will see you all in the next tutorial. And also, we might add a sway effect like Phantom Forces. That's actually pretty simple to add. We just use a spring module. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I'll see you all in the next tutorial. Bye.